Hi, welcome back to It's Pronounced Cook with Derek M. Cook. My name's Derek M. Cook. You're not named Derek M. Cook, but you're here to listen to Derek M. Cook, I think. You're here to hear about LEGO Masters, and I've been covering and talking about LEGO Masters since it launched here in the US, although I missed last week because I was getting ready for Bricks Cascade 2020, which I'll be talking about in a future video, so stay tuned for that. Because I missed last week's installment of It's Pronounced Cook, I have two episodes of LEGO Masters to talk about, episodes 4 and 5. And I enjoyed both episodes. Now, episode 4 was very similar to an episode that I saw on LEGO Masters Australia, in that it was a movies-based challenge. However, in the Australian version of the show, the contestants were told to build something from a movie, a known film. So you had somebody do something from King Kong, you had somebody do something from The Exorcist, and I believe somebody did something from Titanic, if I remember correctly. I don't remember the other ones. I'd have to go back and rewatch it. Darn, it's one of the few reality shows I will go back and rewatch because I liked it that much. In the US version, however, they had to come up with their own movies, and I felt like it was a little awkwardly presented. I mean, I get it. Copyright laws, IP, the whole bit. You know, they don't have permission to represent non-Fox, or in this case, because it's on Fox and Fox is known by Disney, non-Disney property. So I get that. It just felt like maybe they could have structured it a little bit differently. And I wonder if the movies challenge was come up with the intention of them using movies, existing films, to inspire their builds. And then they realized after things were kind of put in motion, hey, we really can't do it this way. So I wonder if that had something to do with it. Either way, it was still a good challenge, and I still enjoyed it. I loved the sound that Boone made when he was telling us what a land shark sounded like.
Land shark!
Oh, yeah. I did not get a chance to ask Boone to recreate that sound at Bricks Cascade, but I did get a chance to ask them on a Q&A, not just Boone, but all the other contestants from LEGO Masters that were in attendance, and there were quite a few there. I did ask them if they were familiar with the LEGO Masters Australian version, and if they felt that watching the challenges from that show kind of inspired them or clued them into what the challenges might have been on the US version. I believe it was Jessica who actually addressed this specifically during the Q&A panel at Bricks Cascade, where she said that she felt like it really didn't give anybody an advantage. It just maybe gave them an idea as to what was going on. And I believe Flynn even said as well that as soon as he walked into the room and saw the word movies up on display, that he immediately started thinking about movies that he could do. And boy, you know, knowing he's a monster kid like me, I imagine the movies he came up with would have been amazing to see represented in LEGO, because there needs to be more classic monsters in LEGO. Anyway, as I get back on track, Flynn said that he actually had a hard time kind of getting out of the mindset of existing films and making up their own movie stories for the challenge. I did like the twist as well, where they had to combine genres. I love genre mashing in my fiction, in my literature, and when it's done right, in my films as well. And one of my favorite combinations was the sci-fi western, a space western. Space westerns are something that I've been fascinated by. And while you do see western elements in things like some installments of the Star Wars films, or from what I understand, Firefly, that was the name of the show, right? I never watched it, but people tell me that it's very space westerny. I just love the idea of mixing science fiction elements and classic westerns. And unfortunately, the team that was assigned that particular combination, when it was all said and done, was the team that went home. It was the team of Manny and Nestor, and I kind of had a feeling that they were going to be going, not because I didn't like their build, but long before we got to even the twist, I believe, if I remember correctly, the show started highlighting a lot of Manny and Nestor's interactions and interviewing them about what was important to them. They even had the moment where they called home, and that was amazing. Now, because I watch a lot of reality TV competition shows with my wife, I've come to learn some of the patterns and some of the techniques used in reality television competition show formula. And one of them is that if you're watching a show like this, and suddenly the show, for whatever reason, highlights on some very emotional moments or backstory with one of the contestants, they're either going to go home or they're going to win. And it's more often than not, that's what happens. And because we had this spotlight, this focus on Manny and Nestor in such an emotional, moving way, we kind of guessed they would be going home. And then as they were having trouble combining the two genres when they got the twist provided to them by the co-directors of the Lego Movie, it kind of confirmed what was about to happen with the show. Would I have done anything differently if I was given a space western? I don't know, but I do love the idea of it, and it's given me some ideas for some mocks for next year's Bricks Cascade, potentially. Unfortunately, Manny and Nestor were not part of the group of contestants from LEGO Masters that were at Bricks Cascade, so I didn't really get a chance to interact with them or chat with them, but I do feel like they were pretty special. And just to see the relationship between the two through the show and the way they were expressing their love for each other and their support for each other, it was pretty heartwarming and touching, and I'm gonna miss that spirit as the show continues. Episode 5 was a build that I believe was something similar to something we've seen in LEGO Masters Australia. They had a big city block that they needed to contribute to. So there was more create your build, put it on a cart, and roll it into place. And this was one where we saw some disaster happen. There's a lot made of them sweeping up bricks that had gotten all over the floor to make room for the carts, for the builds to be put into place. And they didn't just make them do it once, they made them do it twice, because again, there was a twist. So not only did they need to create a city block to go into this mega city, this huge construct, they had to, after it was put in place, pull it back out and then destroy it. But not in the way that they did in like the space boom crash Let's Break Your Toys episode. It was more of a, let's have a natural disaster, a monster disaster, a supernatural disaster. Something's going to happen to your city block, and we want to see it, and we wanted to tell the story of what's happening here. And the people who won, the team who won, Mark and Boone, my guys, my hometown guys, the Bearded Builders from Portland, Oregon, they represented us very well with the food carts. Pop's food carts was awesome, and the story that they told was great, and that was one of the builds that was chosen to be animated in this episode, so we got to see it animated in a really cool way. And man, I told Boone this already on Facebook. I'm going to tell Mark too next time I have a chance to see him. I'm just going to tell everybody. We need to see giant hot dog monsters created and submitted to LEGO Ideas. Just saying. I want some giant hot dog monsters. Or if nothing else, maybe I can get Mark and Boone to whip up some directions for me, because I'd love to build 1 or 2 or 10 here at home. That was a great build. Unfortunately, the team that went home was Amy and Crystal, and I liked them to begin with. You know, I liked this team quite a bit. However, they were both at Bricks Cascade, and specifically Amy, I had a chance to meet, and they were really cool. Amy was amazing. Having an opportunity to just kind of connect with them and chat with her a little bit more about, you know, her on a more than Lego level, I guess is what I'd say. And it made it even more miserable to watch them go home this time around. I really thought we were going to see the team of Aaron and Christian go home because of how everything was built up to the disaster they had, the catastrophe they had when their mock fell apart when they were moving the cart. They must have hit something and just the whole thing broke down, and it was pretty disheartening, and that's who I thought was going to go home. But I should have known better. This is reality TV, and of course they're going to create fake drama, these cliffhangers that really don't lead to much else. And yeah, you got me, LEGO Masters. I mean, you've had me from the beginning, but you got me. So what's happening this week on the show? I think it's the Bridge Challenge. Again, LEGO Masters Australia did this, and it's pretty basic, it's pretty simple. Build a bridge and see how much it can hold. I can't wait to see how they pull this one off, because one thing that I've been fascinated by about LEGO especially is the engineering, the construction, and actually having more than just, hey, it looks pretty, you know what I mean? So I'm really looking forward to the engineering aspect of the show. So I'll be tuning in Wednesday night. What were your thoughts on LEGO Masters episodes 4 and 5? Did you agree with the judges? Do you agree with me? I'd love to hear your comments, or at least read your comments, so please do so in the comments down below. My name's Derek M. Cook. Please like and subscribe to this channel and hit the bell for notifications so that you get notified every time I upload something new to It's Pronounced Cook with Derek M. Cook. The next video you get from me will be part 1 of my thoughts on Bricks Cascade.